VC. It's been quite a while since I put together a video, maybe 6 months now or something. I think everybody has had an interesting year or two, so I am no exception to that. But I wanted to try and start doing this again. I started to put together a list of records that I got recently or within the last few months. And one of the things that I noticed was there were a couple of them where the covers paid tribute to another cover. And so I thought I would kind of just riff off of that and see what I could put together from my records of covers that were based on other covers or something similar. So the first one that I want to show is Amerigo Gazaway's Fais la Soul, which is a mashup record of Fela Kuti and De La Soul, which is really cool and you know, it's great music. And the cover is obviously a riff on De La Soul's first record, 3 Feet High and Rising. This record actually came out, well, the record didn't come out, the mashup came out 2011, 2013, somewhere early teens. So it's almost 10 years old now. But I think this is the first time it's been out on vinyl, like, that I know of, though there may have been some releases earlier, but I couldn't track any down. So we'll move on from that to one where I only have one of the two references, which is The Clash's London Calling, which is a reference to, the cover is a play on Elvis Presley's first LP. That's about all I need to say about that. It's London Calling, it's The Clash, and it's Elvis Presley. Don't need to dive into that too deep. So moving on from The Clash to New Order, similar era, is New Order's first record, Movement, 1981. This is a Peter Saville record cover, who is the designer for Factory Records. This is based very literally on a book cover from 1932 called Futurismo 1932. I'm trying to remember who the author was. Fortunato de Pero was the author. But I think it's interesting that Saville, who's known as a phenomenal designer, and he was, that this is such a direct take on another piece. And I think that that's telling when it comes to design, that some design isn't necessarily about coming up with the idea, but it's about recontextualizing the idea. And I think that what Saville was doing here was trying to essentially take a piece of artwork, a piece of graphic artwork from a period of futurism that was really all about technology and forward thinking, and apply that to a band who was kind of doing that, 50 years later with music, with their use of synthesizers and electronic music. So I think that was a design not necessarily in the sort of classical, handwork of, arranging colors and letters, etc. It was mostly a design of idea, and I think that's interesting. So next is Bow Wow Wow's first record, which is Sea Jungle, Sea Jungle. Oh, trying to remember this name. Sea Jungle, go join your gang, yeah. City all over, go ape crazy. Not really radio friendly as far as the name goes. Fiona Apple would be proud. But the cover is a take on Edward Manet's painting from 1853. That painting at the time caused a huge scandal because it had a nude woman in a very sort of presented in a very casual way, which is not how you were supposed to present nude women in paintings. At the time, they shouldn't be seen as human, I guess, was the problem then. He had a problem with doing that many times. That's one of the reasons why he was a brilliant painter. But this cover had its own bit of controversy because Annabella, the singer, I believe is 14 at the time, and so that was problematic. I believe her mother even filed a report with the police when she saw the cover. And not to be outdone with sort of rehashing an image, they also used the image for The Last of the Mohicans, which is an EP. I think this is a US press EP. I'm not sure it's the same in the UK, but this is the one that has, I Want Candy and etc. Okay. And then last, as a band out of DC, Baltimore area, called Priests. And this is their latest record. I believe this is from 2018. It's called The Seduction. And this cover is really a sort of direct take from the 1979, I believe, record from the Nuns. You can see the similarities between the two records in style and composition and colors and fonts. But there's also, I think, a stylistic connection between Priests and the Nuns. And I honestly don't know if they took their name Priests as a sort of homage or play on the Nuns. But there's definitely a stylistic thread that goes between the two bands. Priests are a kind of, in some ways their music is a bit retro sounding, and so it kind of speaks back to records like the Nuns and early like Berlin, especially in the vocals. And then it's kind of married with a sort of punk, a la, at least in the early records, sort of Fugazi-ish. Good stuff. I have a few of their records. But anyways, I just thought these little cover stories were kind of interesting. And I'd love to hear about other covers that are like this, that are covers based on something else, some other record or some other piece of artwork. That sort of fascinates me. I'm a designer by trade, so if you have any, put it in the comments and let me know, or make another video. Hope everybody's doing well. Take care.